Just a reminder for those attending, we will be recording today. A couple of notes and housekeeping. You are in the right event if you are here for the Kaizen workshop. I will be just taking attendance just so Azar knows what wonderful people were in attendance. Okay. I wanted to say thank you for your patience. I'm going to be doing Azar's introduction in just a moment. Just a reminder, if you could please mute yourselves. You're welcome to put your cameras on now so we can say hello to everyone before we get started. I hope everyone's having an amazing conference so far. Thank you so much for being here this morning. I will be doing attendance as we go. We will do breakout sessions and I'll kind of give you a quick overview. 1 hour is not enough time for this, but we're going to teach you. Well, I'm not going to teach you. Azar is the master of this. He is going to teach you. So without further ado, I want to give a quick and warm welcome to all of you. Congratulations for investing in yourself, attending this conference, and taking your weekend to spend time with your Toastmasters community. I'm going to let you know a little bit about our amazing presenter, Azar Khan. Azar and I have become good friends in the last year, fellow Toastmasters. I have such respect for what he does as a man in his community and in our Toastmaster community. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about this incredible man who's going to share his expertise with you today. Azar and I have become friends and I've learned a little bit more about him as we've gone. It's been so great. He was born into a very loving and close-knit family. And if you know Azar, you will know that because of how he shares his love for his family and his children, especially telling me about his boys. His father was a man who traveled extensively for business. He taught Azar the value of hard work, professionalism. And as a result, he became very close to his mom during his dad's absence. She taught him about charity and giving back to the community. And if you follow Azar's public service, you will know that he is a man who is out and about in the community, giving any opportunity he can. So his father's influence prompted him to go the distance and take control of his economic future. Just a reminder, those of you entering, please mute your computers now. Thank you. Azar speaks 5 languages. He has a bachelor's in business and computer science, as well as a master's in economics. So following in his father's footsteps, he traveled a lot for business. So many places, so much to share. In the process, he learned methodologies, and one of those is Kaizen, which is what he's going to share with you today. So what is Kaizen? He's going to tell you more, but basically it is a methodology that promotes efficiencies within organizations for continuous improvement. He learned this while in Japan and used this to bring back a company that had 5 failed attempts at success. So today, without further ado, since we have such a short time, you're muted. I'm going to pass this over to Azar, who is going to tell you about this amazing process. A couple of notes. Please keep an eye on the chat. I am going to post a document in there that you will need. He's going to give a presentation. We're going to split you into breakout rooms so that you can use the process and then come back to us and share that skill set. I am all about learning by doing, and Kaizen, that's what you're going to do today with Azar's guidance. So thank you so much, and I present to you Azar Khan. Take it away, Azar. Before I give you sharing privileges, I will just post that little note into the chat for everyone. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Jennifer, for a very warm welcome and awesome introduction. I just request if you can share before you give me the charge for the Zoom to share the action plan on the chat. So it will be great. And welcome everyone, all the Toastmasters. It's an honor and privilege that not only I'm a certified Kaizen coach and gold medalist, but I'm double DTM and my 3rd DTM is almost complete with the pathways. So I would like to share my presentation with you all guys. Can everyone see the presentation perfectly? Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. First of all, I would like to welcome you all in my Kaizen presentation. Kaizen is a Japanese word, and the meaning of Kaizen is change for good. There are two words. Kaizen means change for good. In Toyota, the meaning of Kaizen is a lot. The idea to keep making the improvement one after another. And all of us need to improve the processes, the business, and even our Toastmaster club. I use this Kaizen methodology to make it successful. If you are a business owner or leading the organization, we all know that how important nowadays the business, especially the small businesses. Does your business need greater profitability, better customer service index, tighter expense control, especially during COVID 19, or higher staff morale, or greater efficiencies everywhere? I think we all agreed. Is Toastmaster or a small business or your key role? These all things we require. But how can we achieve those goals if we want to set as a Kaizen? Kaizen is a very flexible tool which already in our business waiting to harness. You can get better, you can do better. But the most important thing, all the time we set the goals, raising the bar, making improvements. Of course, we want to improve our process. Hello, Zoom Master, can you mute it, please? I think somebody is on the. Okay, and but the most important thing, how can we improve the processes? Changes improve, we call it Kaizen, as you know, continuous improvement. Change is easier said than done. I worked more than 20 years in Toyota. And in Toyota, numerous times we successfully implement the Kaizen in many projects. If you know about Toyota and the products they created, they make many achievements, build efficient processes, standardize the system like Toyota production system, Kaizen, and continuous improvement culture is everywhere if you go organization in every section from up to down or down to up. And that's the way of life in Toyota. If you look this picture, the core of Kaizen is pure improvement. Rather go to Gimba. The meaning of Gimba in Japanese in the site where the problem is. And how can we remove the muda? Muda means waste. How we know your customers and creating outcome values. The transportation, how can we make more leveling, which is we call Haijunka, or empower the employment, which is very important. And all this improvement we can do through the Kaizen. Traditional way of management versus the Kaizen management. So, what is the difference between traditional management and the Kaizen management? In traditional management, we all know that our approach is top to down with one-way flow of information, instructions from managers down to the employees. It means limited communication with little input from staff. Plan may be inappropriate, and the dealer and your employment may not understand the reason for changes. So, in a nutshell, we can say traditional management is like the results count is equal to the productive change that must be enforced and ensure the compliance. In Kaizen management, advantages, what are the advantages of Kaizen management? Your staff will be more involved in any meaning greater buy-in from the start. When two-way communication between staff and the management, good ideas start flow from the staff to take the ownership of the solution. Like in Toastmaster, the way we took the ownership, because they help define the problem. Resulting practices benefit from the review processes become the efficient and sustainable when everyone agrees on the plan. Rather, you are the bottom line or you are the CEO. Everyone should agree on the plan as a Kaizen. Your Kaizen team becomes the way to diagnose, develop, and implement a wide variety of change and improvement. Group results add new perspective, new available from the individual. Kaizen management is equal to the best use of resources through Kaizen team. And what is Kaizen team? Set up your own Kaizen team, and the team is cross department, not only one department, somebody in sales department, in service department, across the group, staff from multiple levels of networking support. They meet regularly to discuss practice ways to the small and concrete improvements. And that is very important because I just explained the old traditional way we have talked about bottom, but in Kaizen everyone involves and work together and try to understand the problem, how to start your team. That's the most important question. So the team, when we start, what is the role of the management? If we would, like in Toastmasters, if we have some issue like the pathways people not using, or in your company if you have any issues, so management have to carefully select the team leader and team member who are proactive and want to facilitate the positive change. Ensure Kaizen team leader training is completed. Define a specific issue about the affecting of any issue which is in the department, allows member to step outside of their routine duties to observe and analyze the issue if there is an issue. Encourage active participation, check regularly the team progress. So this is the management side of the part. The Kaizen side, observe the current situation. This is the responsibilities of the Kaizen team. Identify what are the gaps which exist and refer the best practices of Kaizen. And then Kaizen team. The Kaizen team is best meeting regular, informal, but some basic structure needed. The frequency depends on the nature of the problem and size of the issue. At least twice in a week, twice in a month, or at least minimum once in a month, Kaizen team, which is all departments should meet and discuss. Like we in our Division E, with our Division E director, all area governors meeting monthly to find out that what are the issues and how can we address and how can we resolve. Similarly, in business and in Kaizen, we regularly meeting and update the minutes of meeting. The Kaizen management can start the Kaizen process by defining a situation that needs to the improvement. Key performance indicators will your benchmark to uncover, like in our DCB program, like in our what are the benchmarking, how many members should be there, what are the educational purpose. So similarly, in the Kaizen also we have to set up the processes and the KPIs. Here I would like to show you that what methodology we would like to use in Kaizen and continuous improvement. So a methodology of developing the continuous improvement culture called plan, do, check, act, or action. So this is the methodology we are using in the Kaizen culture. But you have to get employees involved, gather a list of problems, encourage solution, then choose an idea. That what is the idea? Test the solution. That is very important, that we have to test the solution, that the solution we found, is it working or not working. Regularly measure and analyze the result, because that is very important, that you have to capture the data, that what is before and what is after. How is my sales going? How is my CSR going? How is my stock month reducing? So the data is very important to measure, analyze the result. A successful adopt a solution, and once we are sure that the process is working, then we have to make the solution of this, and then repeat the ongoing basis the success formula, or to standardize. Kaizen cycle for continuous improvement. Kaizen requires identify the areas for improvement. That is very important, that we have to identify the improvement, creating solutions and plan for a rollout, and then cycling the process again for other issues that were inadequately addressed before. Now, the most important part is that what is Kaizen plan? In the Kaizen plan, we have to plan like clarify the problem, break out the problem, set a target, analyze the root cause, that what is the root cause, and develop the countermeasures. And once our plan is ready, then we have to action, like do the countermeasure which we develop. But sometime when you are doing on the do side, you have to check, is my countermeasure working? Is I am going on the right direction? Is the result coming which need to be done? That is very important. And if you feel that if my actions are not working in the action plan, we have to go back and check and fix the countermeasure and again do. And when we feel it is going on a right direction, then we have to implement the action plan. There are a couple of examples I want to give you. Like one of the dealership, and it's my live example because this manual I was a part to create it. That a customer come and he found that the problem in the when you go to any dealership, they open the repair order for you, and they notice that the problem was that they are not greeting the customers. The problem, they are too much load for the advisors. So they found one of the warranty clerk, he not have much load on that time. So they said during the morning time from 7 a.m. till 9 p.m., if you come on the counter and you will help us, the problem will be resolved. And this worked very well. Another example that in the dealership or in workshops, 58% new customers are not returning back. Like I buy the car, but I'm not returning back to the dealership. So they found the Kaizen team research, and they found that customers unaware that there is a some process and they have very good after sales services. The countermeasure, they discuss about the maintenance menu that when you reach to 8,000 kilometer or 10,000 kilometer, you come back and we give you this discount. When they educate it and tell to the customers the benefits, it is start working very well. Later on, another example, we noticed that there is a warranty plan called ECP plan, and we noticed that the EC plan was not working. And during our Kaizen meeting, we found that most of the people don't aware about the benefit. Even the salespeople not have the belief on the product. Like pathways. When we launched the pathways, many people I know personally, they are very scared, including myself, how it works technology-wise, because I was so uh, used to using the manuals. It took me 6 months to understand how I can use the pathways. Similarly, here, when in business, when they understand the knowledge, what are the benefits, they use it, like some of the salespeople, they have more confidence. And when they educate the customers and give the benefits, it works so good. So, similarly, the most important part of this Kaizen is to understand and knowledge. So, these are the three examples which I want to share with you. One of the pioneer of Kaizen, his name Taiji Ono, and he said, without standards, there can be no Kaizen. We all are Toastmasters, and we know what are the standards are. When we are newcomer as CC and ACB and CC and pathways, and everybody, if you notice, that is discipline, is standards. And Toastmasters, we have a standard. Similarly, in Kaizen also, we have standards. I hope you better understand, although this is a 1 week course, which I try to finish within 45 minutes. But I hope this Kaizen give you a better understanding in your work, in your Toastmaster journey. I hope that you feel better or better utilize this methodology to be more effective. And now it's a time for the Kaizen action plan. So I would like to now uh, change the responsibility to my Kaizen host.
Thank you so much, Azar. That was amazing. And this is such an amazing tribute to your skill. I let Azar know at the beginning that I'm not a very astute timer. We had a few technical difficulties, I will be honest about that. And so I didn't start the clock. And this man did it exactly at his 15 minutes without me as a timer. So there is a testament to practicing your presentation and knowing your timing. Okay, so everyone is coming back. Welcome, everyone. I hope you had a great session and that you have nominated or voluntold someone from your breakout room for your presentation. I'm going to hand it over to our esteemed leader, Azar, and he's going to take it from here. Thank you, Azar. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Zoom Master and my facilitator. It was so now I think all of you, although this course is for 1 week and I try to squeeze as much as I can, I would like to request who is volunteer first presenter, because now your time for this is like a table topic session. So you have 1 minute green, 1.5 minute yellow, and 2 minute red. And please present your group as a Kaizen leader. So who wanna?
So I know I can go, Azar, if that's fine.
Okay, thank you, Michael.
Yeah.
I can go after if that's available.
Okay. So I can start whenever, correct? Is there a timer too that I should look out for?
I will be your timer, Michael.
Okay, sounds good. So for our project, it was myself and Pandora Chung. The focus was to find out how to get more new members in their community club, which is Edwards Gardens. So for the problem itself, the issue is that the pandemic makes it hard to take advantage of the location benefit, because if you're in a nice spot in the city, you can't have that as a competitive advantage in the online environment. There's Zoom burnout, so workers or community members don't want to take on more online meetings. And as well, the Toastmasters organization did not adapt their goals to the online changing environment. So the root causes we find are that the pandemic, of course, is a root cause of many different things these days. And the members have a hard time adapting to the new changes to online, which can reduce the number of members actively participating near the start. So the ideal situation is to simulate the exact vibe of the in-person meetings in both number and scale. As well as ideal, it would be good for the Toastmasters organization to help you out in adapting to this climate. So whether they set different goals or change their materials to support this new way of life that we don't know how long it's going to take. So as a result, the action plan is to convince Toastmasters organization to adapt new goals for the online, whether it be for DCP or in their resources, and make sure it's gradual changes so that you get the easy wins out of the way first and then keep inclining upwards. Who needs to support it? The Toastmasters organization and all your members. So if you have online, you need members to encourage other members to really get started with it and give it a shot, because it'll be a tough adjustment at first. You won't feel like you have the crowd experience. So people that really thrive off of that will be challenged, but you can really get on board with it and find the new things that you could take advantage of, like sharing screen or changing backgrounds. There's a lot that you can put into it that is very different than in person. By when should be July 1st, 2021. So the new Toastmaster, your perfect time to bring in new changes. Thank you.
Excellent, Mike. And now who is the second presenter and which group?
Second. Hi. Group, you just want our names? It would be, or no, I think we're number 3, group number 3.
Group number 3, okay.
If I remember the breakout number correctly.
My apologies.
Okay.
I should be spotlighting who is presenting. My apologies. Who is going to be presenting? Let me take a look at who's there.
Yeah, my name is Nigel, and our team
Nigel.
was
There we go, Nigel.
perfect. I was saying my team was Paula and Nicole as well.
Okay. You
Am I
may
good
go
to go?
ahead.
Perfect. So what we talked about was this participation in general. So this is not necessarily due to the pandemic, but definitely amplified as part of the pandemic. In general, it's a real challenge to get people to do speeches. And when people do come up and do speeches, it tends to be the same set of people. So it's always like the same 2 or 3 people that are always excited and ready to go for speeches. And what we've also noticed is it's hard to get members motivated for their initial speech, but also the members that are, they tend to stop at a certain point. So they'll start their level 1 speeches, which as we all know are generally very similar. And then they'll kind of stop at the end of level 1. It's hard to push them forward. This is actually an issue that we all said we had for all 3 of our clubs. So it's not specific to just one of our 3 clubs, it was for all our clubs. What we noticed as the root cause is, especially in the pandemics and the virtual situation, is that time is a big consideration. So as mentioned by the previous group, a lot of people are already on Zoom meetings. Meetings take up even more of our time, and time is a huge issue. Also, there's a lot of pressure when delivering a speech. New members tend to think that they have to spend a lot of time to give out that first speech, and it's very difficult to get momentum built up to do that first. So for us, the ideal situation would be that members should be scheduled for the initial speech when they first start, and would have a mentor assigned to them to work them through those initial kind of mental barriers, let's call it. And we would also have a plan for members for later levels. Here's our action plan. So our action plan, the first item on our list was, let's get people to provide, the clubs to provide speech writing workshops periodically. So twice a year, we would get a workshop host to come in and actually provide a speech writing workshop so that new members could say, okay, this is what I have to do. Here's a path for me to write my first speech. The second item is to help out new members, which we would assign mentors to new members. So when a member joins the club, let's assign a mentor. Toastmasters has a great mentorship path that you can complete, so that we can get people on there, get people who are used to it to help out the older members. And our final item was to plan out future speeches for members so that they have a plan in place. Always have a member scheduled for 1 or 2 additional speeches so they know, here's when my next speech is, here's what I have to be ready for. And that was our overall solution to our participation problem.
Thank you, Nigel. And now I would like to request our next group. And who is the group leader? Who is our next group?
I think we're the last group. I think we might be the last group. Yeah.
Greg?
Yes, correct. How are you? Yeah, so can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you. Perfect.
Okay. Yeah, so as myself, Samita, and Karen were in this group. Our Kaizen team name was Participation is Key. So the issues what we're looking at was simply to getting members to sign up for key roles. More specifically would be the chair, Toastmaster, or general evaluator. Some of the root causes we see is that certain roles like the chair and Toastmaster sometimes could be too much work or sometimes too demanding. We find that a lot of members like simple roles that are not too demanding, and so sometimes they'll typically won't even sign up until the very end, hoping that somebody will take on these roles. So the ideal situation would be that we would have members that would be very eager to take on these roles, and that they would be signed up well in advance of the meeting. So you're not sitting there at the day of your meeting wondering, okay, who is the chair, who is the Toastmaster, and who's doing some of these key roles that are integral to the meetings. So this would be an ideal situation that you go in there knowing that people have already signed up well in advance of it, and they are actually going to show up. Sometimes too, we see that a lot of things pop up and people actually don't even attend the meeting. And at the last second, we're scrambling to fill these key roles that are integral to the meeting itself. Some of the action plans that we looked at, I mean, ideally, if you could make it monetary, that would be great. Anybody who wants, say, a Tim's gift card or something like that would sign up. So you could make it where there would be maybe a draw at some point where maybe it would be something that monetary that would sign people up to say, here, if you get it in advance, first way to sign up, get your name thrown into a draw for a Tim's card, let's say. Something else as well, too, that we've tried at our club is actually signing up people in advance for these roles, and then just checking up on them to ensure that they would fill this role ahead of the meeting. So I think it would be key on the people that would be part of the group itself to ensure that these actions are, say, taking place. And I would suggest implementing these roles maybe at the beginning of May would be ideal to see if this would work. But that's what our group came up with.
Thank you, everyone. I think it's first of all, give a big applause to everyone who participated. And I think within this short time, a 1-week course, we did it in a very, very record time, which is amazing. Like, you know, you all are wonderful. And I don't know. And if you're not Toastmaster, believe me, I don't think so we can do it. So give a big applause. Open your camera if you want, because I take one selfie on this one. I recently joined the Brazil club, and they were doing like something like this, so it looked like so fancy. So if you can do this one, and if you don't want to mention you on the picture, it's okay. But those who want to open the camera, they are more than welcome. So just do like this for 1 second, and then I can capture this moments. Awesome. So 1 second. Yeah, great. So thank you once again, everyone who participated and who have this great courage to, do this Kaizen action plan. And the real essence of this workshop, not only to give the presentation, but you have to do by yourself and develop the action plan. I know it's a less time, but at least we did it. So I go a quick evaluation, like, we're doing the evaluation after the speeches for each and every group. So first I go with Michael. So Michael, excellent job. You mentioned that new members, and one of the main issue you find the root cause. And there is we call it in Japanese shakumi. And the meaning of shakumi is why. It's also called fishbone analysis. That what are the root cause? Sometimes it's 3 why, 5 why, or 20 why. One of the why we find out here in the pandemic situation, it's hard time for the people to adapting the new culture. And it's very true. Those who are very senior Toastmaster, because I'm member of 2 clubs, and I know it's a very challenging for the senior generation to adapt this one. One of the countermeasure you make it, you develop the material that, step by step, ABC, that how can you do it. You add your own convenience and online gradual supporting system. Um, just to let you know all that, I think Jennifer shared my email, so you can send me later your action plan. I will review it. Not only your club action plan, but if you are business, you are in job, and you have some goals which you want to make it, you can email me. I recently finished my Kaizen book, and it's with the publishing. So definitely, once I receive the email, I will send you a complimentary copy with my signatures. It will take 1 to 2 months due to COVID. It's delaying, but my book is coming pretty soon. A good job, Mike, and all the group people in your team that you who make this Kaizen action plan. So I think you found the essence of the Kaizen. Now I go for Group B, which is Nigel. And one of the issue he mentioned during his Kaizen, that speeches, time, and pressure. These are the main issues that he found it, and how to schedule. And after they consult and monitor and analyze the situation of their club, they found that why not we do the mentorship program. Just to let you know, I'm like almost, this is 18th year since I'm Toastmaster. And I noticed that mentorship worked very well. Wendy Williams, who is our district director, before 4 or 5 years, she was my mentor, chair, and I was helping TD Insurance head office. I was going there, and believe me, when they understand and they know the tools, they thrive like this. And we got, I think, 10 out of 9 points. So mentorship is very good, because some people are shy. They shy not to ask you the question in front of other Toastmaster. They feel maybe it's a very silly question and it's like what people think. But when as a mentor, the difference between mentorship and coach, that mentorship is a long term, when they set up your long term plan, how you become DTM, what are the good role. Believe me, myself, I was challenging on pathways. It took me 6 months, and my mentor was Chris Nelson, who was now districts 1, 2, 3 district director elect just now. And believe me, she put my fingers on the computer. And that's the beauty of mentorship. And now as a youth chair, I sometimes, some kids are very smart, so mentorship program is very good. And I think you set very good role. One thing here I would like to mention, the most important in Kaizen action plan is who and when, because it should be time bound, because we have a timelines about the action plan. So well done, Nigel, you and your group who presented the action plan. Now, number third group, which is Greg Dunlop. So Greg, excellent job, you and your team. And you mentioned also another very key point, the participation roles. And it is very true. Many times when we are in Toastmaster Club, we notice that the Toastmaster away and two people are short. And then before start the speech, we say, okay, can you do the double role? Can you be a greeter? Can you be an evaluator? I'm seeing very commonly this one. And sometimes very simple issues, we ignore it because of this discipline. If we have this action plan and we have the software or we have some type of tool which we have already and we assigned and backup that work perfectly. And not only in Toastmasters, I am corporate employee more than 22 years. Everyone giving you carrot and stick rule. If you perform, they give you carrot. And similarly, you give the Tim's card. And a lot of people, believe me, give the Tim cards to whom? Their kids and their spouse to make them happy. And sometime when you are taking the time in Toastmaster, you come back home, you give this card to your spouse. At least she value your time that you're doing some Toastmaster thing, but you say, hey, this small gavel I achieved, this book I achieved. When we go physically in the conferences, we have this goodie bag, a stress ball, you have pens, you have some things or some thermos which you brought back to home and share your success, because the essence of Kaizen, change for good. And happiness is also same like Kaizen. Small changes, small happiness, small blessings is make the big changes. Because COVID, I'm little out of track, but I'm telling you, COVID let us think which the blessings we ignore, like our health, our family, values. So same philosophy. When I was in Japan for 4 years, they tell us that change small things, but small things make a huge change, and that's the philosophy of Kaizen. So well done, Greg, you and your team, and I think you all within this limited time understood the concept of Kaizen. So next time, wherever you go in your company, because before Toyota start of 75 years back, but now in hospital, in hotel industry, in manufacturing, everywhere you go, you find the Kaizen culture. And I think I would like to say thank you to District 60 committee, the District 60 leadership, and Jennifer, and all the people who facilitate this workshop, because now you are few of them who can talk about Kaizen, who can say yes. Even in your resume, you can mention that you attend the Kaizen workshop. And believe me, you are among few of those who have this knowledge compared to those who have no idea what is Kaizen, which make your value above among those people, and this distinguish you and make you better for your professional life. And I think that is the main object of this district's conference, which give you more knowledge and more equipment. But I would like to say thank you all the participants that you select me, you select this district conference, and on Sunday you are here on this conference, which make the difference. With this, if any question, I would like to back to my Zoom master, Jennifer.
Thank you so much, Azar. It's true. You're investing in yourself. You picked out of 13 offered workshops to attend with us today. So thank you so much for investing in yourself. And I hope you're going to take this information back to your clubs. Use this as a teachable moment, whether you have education tips in your clubs, or if you're going to implement an education tip, or maybe this is a speech you're going to do. Take this element and share that. So thank you so much for being here. Are there any questions before we wrap up today? You're welcome to unmute yourself or put it into the chat. I think Azar has covered so much today, and thank you so much, Azar. That was very concise. It's hard to take so much content and put it into such a small spot. So who would like to ask a question?
It's not a question. This is Smita. I really enjoyed this session. I also like your easy to remember email address. It's very nice. It's nothing complicated. So I know you can memorize it, and you don't have to copy paste or do something like that. It's very easy emails. I like that. And yeah, this is something that I've heard about it at my work. I work in the federal government, and they have been also talking about Kaizen. So because of that, I was interested in learning more. But thank you so much. Really enjoyed it. And thank you, Greg, for being our team leader for our team.
Thank you, Samita.
Shout out to Whitby Intrepid there. Always a great club. I'm sure when you take that back, Smita and Greg, they'll have use for that, certainly. Are there any other questions or comments for Azar? Well, I think we've done an excellent job. We were at 10:45. How perfect is that? I'm going to tell you a little secret. Both Azar and I, well, we like to talk. So, you know, wrapping up right at 10:45 is a monumental effort and accomplishment for both of us. I say more for me than Azar, because he was spot on with his 15-minute presentation. So I just want to remind you again, please take a moment to fill out the Survey Monkey in the chat. This is how your PQD gets feedback. So let them know what you liked, how it worked. And that is really important. You know, we do evaluation in our speeches. This is your opportunity to evaluate. So please take a moment for that. Jot down Azar's very easy to remember email. Keep that worksheet for yourselves, and do email Azar, because I think it's pretty amazing that you're coming to a free workshop on a free conference weekend, and he's going to send you his free book. That's pretty amazing. So you can go and tell all of your friends, and they'll be jealous that they weren't here today. So on behalf of Azar, District 60, and Azar and I are in Division E, we want to thank you so much for joining us today, and enjoy the rest of the day. Enjoy the contests and the speeches, and we look forward to seeing you at the next session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I think, Jennifer, you have to stop the recording, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me just do that now.